the Hunter Biden situation, the concept of a special prosecutor, idea of one. How do you think this is all going to roll? It's interesting because Joe Biden has indicated and was on tape as saying, I never talked to my son about his business dealings. And of course, for the past year, emails and all kinds of stuff have been released that proves absolutely that was probably untrue. So we've known what we're going to hear from Devon Archer, I think, tomorrow for all along, that there was some dealings there. But what happens after this? Like, what do you think the legal ramifications of this will be, whether it be at the impeachment level or at the criminal level?
The statute of limitations for the crime of bribery, I mean, lying to the American public, unless you do it under oath, is not a crime, even when the president lies. But bribery obviously is a crime. However, the statute of limitations has expired. That statute of limitations is 5 years, even if these events occurred, as the Republican investigators say their evidence demonstrates they occurred. They were all more than 5 years ago. Impeachment is limited to events that occurred while in office. So there's really no basis to impeach Joe Biden, even if they have ironclad evidence of bribery while he was vice president. So I don't know where any of this is going to go. I suppose the residual of all this will be political. I mean, if there's evidence that he committed crimes while he was vice president and he can't be prosecuted, I would think the American public would rise up against that and make it clear to him he better not be the Democratic nominee unless he wants the biggest shellacking since Nixon defeated McGovern. But impeachment-wise and prosecution-wise, there's very little that can be done.
I wonder whether or not, even with this whole thing with Hunter Biden, whether that really changes minds anyway. And what I mean is that there are enough people who are dissatisfied with Biden's presidency without the Hunter Biden thing. And I'm not quite sure even a lot of people understand it all either. And, you know, when you go to the economy or Ukraine or what have you, I think there's enough there already that has presented a lot of dissatisfaction with him.
Well, his presidency, let's face it, even the Democrats acknowledge it. His presidency is indefensible. The incompetence, the growth of the federal government, the trashing of the Constitution, fighting an unjust and undeclared war, the debacle in Afghanistan, rampant borrowing and inflation. Even the Republicans are largely to blame for that because they voted to give Janet Yellen the authority to borrow all the money she wants. This is the problem with Kevin McCarthy and these middle-of-the-road Republicans. They stand for nothing except getting reelected. I mean, all of this is indefensible. The Democrats know that. The only way, in my view, I hate to say this, but I have to, the only way, in my view, Biden can get reelected is if Trump is the Republican nominee and the focus is taken off of Biden's indefensible record and shown instead on Trump's personality, character, and alleged criminality. That, I think, is the only way Biden wins. Otherwise, I think any of those Republicans can defeat Biden because he can't debate, he can't compose a coherent English sentence, he can't defend what he's doing, and he certainly can't run a campaign from the Rose Garden. The American public is not going to tolerate that. He's going to have to be exposed to the press and exposed to the challenges of his adversaries. Why do you think Bobby Kennedy has 26% of likely Democratic voters against the sitting incumbent Democratic president?